Tonight, breaking news, what we have just learned about some of those new Boeing jets that were flying right here in the U.S. After those two crashes, the pilots frantically flipping through the manual. Now we learn many new Boeing jets were missing safety features that Boeing charged extra for, including planes here at home. One airline's response tonight. Bracing for the Mueller report, cameras surrounding Robert Mueller today. It is expected very soon. And what Jon Karl has just learned tonight, what not to expect. The nor'easter slamming millions, the chain reaction crash, the system from D.C. up through New York and Boston. After the exploding tanks near Houston, authorities telling the public there was no risk. Today, the shelter-in-place alert for a time amid fears of benzene and pollutants. The young driver, the chase, the crash, and then prosecutors say the beating that followed. Tonight, a trooper indicted. The young American skater accused in an ice skating attack against her competitor. What we've learned tonight. The stunning images coming in tonight. Our team now on the scene in Mozambique. Thousands still believed waiting to be rescued, some climbing snake-infested trees, others pulled into helicopters. The popular young actress from Game of Thrones revealing tonight she suffered 2 aneurysms, the scare, the symptoms, and what you should know. And tonight, what we've learned about 600 million Facebook passwords.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. And we begin tonight with disturbing new reporting involving those new Boeing MAX jets. After 2 of them crashed, tonight we have learned that many of those jets, including planes that were flying here in the U.S., did not have 2 key safety features that Boeing charged extra for. The New York Times is reporting 2 premium safety features that possibly could have helped those pilots detect a problem were not installed. They cost extra. Tonight, American Airlines and Southwest say they have the features, but United says they did not buy them. And United tonight is now explaining why. Here's ABC's David Curley.
Word tonight that the 737 MAX in Indonesia, as well as the Ethiopian airliner, both of which moved dramatically up and down before crashing, lacked 2 available add-on safety systems which airlines have to pay for. The 737 MAX has a sensor on each side of the cockpit, which indicates whether the jet is level or pointed up or down. But Boeing's anti-stall system, MCAS, which forces the nose down and was activated in the Lion Air crash, relies on just one of those sensors to engage. Airlines can buy an option which shows what both sensors are saying in the cockpit, and another option is a light to highlight if those sensors disagree.
2 identical sensors on the airplane, they both ought to be feeding data to the cockpit. You shouldn't have to pay extra to get them both to talk to the pilots.
Boeing's software update, which it is rushing to complete with the fleet grounded, will now provide that sensor disagree light as standard and will in the future rely on both sensors before engaging the anti-stall system.
It was incomplete design. That the original design relied on the pilots to take appropriate action. What we've learned from these 2 accidents, that may not occur.
In the U.S., Southwest and American Airlines both pay for those additional safety features. United does not, saying its pilots use other indicators and are trained to shut off the anti-stall system if it engages incorrectly.
So let's get right to David Curley with us live tonight. And David, Boeing tonight is now saying going forward, they're going to make one of those features they charged extra for standard.
Yes, and the other one they say some airlines don't want on their screens. That software fix could be ready by next week or the following week, David.
David Curley leading us off again tonight. David, thank you. We also have new reporting tonight on the Mueller report, expected at any time. All eyes were on Robert Mueller as he arrived at work today. Even President Trump talking about the report in the last 24 hours, saying, let the public see it. Well, tonight, right here, what our Jon Karl has just learned, what not to expect when this report comes.
Wearing a baseball cap and driving himself, Robert Mueller arrived at his office today amidst widespread speculation his investigation is about to end. Tonight, sources familiar with the probe tell ABC News they expect no more indictments from the special counsel. I asked the president whether the public will get a chance to see Mueller's final report.
Does the American public have a right to see the Mueller report?
I don't mind. I mean, frankly, I told the House, if you want, let them see it. Let it come out. Let people see it. That's up to the Attorney General. We have a very good Attorney General. He's a very highly respected man, and we'll see what happens.
President Trump says he wants to see the report himself.
I think it's ridiculous, but I want to see the report.
So what will the report say about the president and any others who are not indicted? Today, a clue in form of a little-noticed letter written last year by the man who has overseen the Mueller investigation, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. In that letter, Rosenstein made it clear there would not be a replay of what former FBI Director James Comey did in June 2016, when he held a news conference harshly criticizing Hillary Clinton, even as he announced she would not be indicted. As Rosenstein wrote, we also have a duty to prevent the disclosure of information that would unfairly tarnish people who are not charged with crimes.
John Karl live at the White House again tonight. And John, I want to get back to your reporting late today. Your source is telling you tonight that they do not expect any more indictments from the special counsel?
David, I am told not to expect any more indictments from the special counsel, but as White House officials are keenly aware, that is not the end of the special counsel investigation, is not an end to investigations related to the President of the United States. There are still multiple criminal investigations, and of course, David, Democrats in Congress are just getting started.
All right, John Karl with us. John, thank you. In the meantime, we turn to the dangerous weather tonight, facing millions of commuters on their way home. The nor'easter targeting millions. Virginia State Police responding to dozens of vehicles skidding off icy roads. There you see Route 33. Heavy rain and strong winds from D.C. up through Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. Meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all again tonight for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. The timing of this storm is slowing, which means more in the way of rain, snow, coastal flooding, and wind the next 2 days. The center is still over the Chesapeake, where Virginia's really been getting hammered all day. You see the heaviest stuff there just west of D.C. We'll see more of the heavy stuff spiraling off the Atlantic tonight. Philadelphia, then New York City, then Boston, still hanging around for a messy morning commute. Heavy wet snow just inland. Then the winds really get cranking tomorrow night, and last, looks like on the entire East Coast we'll feel the impact of this storm right through Saturday. David?
Rob, thank you. We have been reporting here on those tanks near Houston that went up in flames. Tonight, the new scare after that massive chemical plant fire. Those tanks exploding in Deer Park, Texas, and today a new shelter-in-place alert. It was up for a time amid fears over benzene and other pollutants. So is the air safe? ABC's Alex Perez from Texas tonight.
Tonight, just outside Houston, a community on edge as responders struggle with the fallout from a chemical fire that burned for days.
We will make this right. We will fix it and we will make it right.
Area residents this morning told to seek immediate shelter, turn off their air conditioning, even block off cracks under doors after air quality testing conducted with the help of the National Guard revealed elevated levels of the potentially cancer-causing substance, benzene, the toxic chemical released into the air during the containment effort. Officials earlier assuring residents the billowing smoke had not affected the air despite falling debris.
They look almost like a lump of charcoal.
And tonight, the shelter-in-place warnings now lifted after air quality improved. But growing environmental concerns about water, foam, and debris from the containment efforts entering nearby waterways.
And David, officials here say they will continue to spray that special foam on the burned areas to keep those chemicals contained. Environmental groups also now here testing both the air and the water. David?
All right, Alex Perez live in Texas. We will stay on this. In the meantime, there is new and disturbing video emerging tonight. A young driver chased by state police. The teenager crashing his car, and tonight prosecutors now say he was then pulled from the wreckage and beaten. One trooper now indicted in West Virginia. And here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
Federal investigators tonight are sharing this police dash camera video from Berkeley County, West Virginia, and say it shows why they are indicting a former state trooper. The video with no sound begins with a car chase on November 19th. A 16-year-old is behind the wheel and crashes to a stop. He's a juvenile who is clearly hurt. You see the officers rip him from his broken driver's side window. The boy is put in cuffs, and that's when this officer puts a knee to his neck and starts beating him. West Virginia's governor didn't mince words.
It's just plain ridiculous. It's inexcusable. I mean, I stand rock solid with our police force in every way, shape, form, or fashion, but I'm not going to stand rock solid with something that's wrong.
Moments later, the same officer picks up the teenager by the neck, who is still in cuffs, and throws him to the ground. 29-year-old Michael Kennedy is accused of using excessive force, resulting in bodily injury. 4 of the officers at the scene lost their jobs. It does appear that one of the responding officers was hurt in the chase. David?
Steve Osunsami tonight. Thank you, Steve. And now to the stunning headline involving American skater Mariah Bell. She's accused of using her skate blade to attack a rival. Tonight, an Olympic skater is now defending her, and here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
It was a stunning allegation. American figure skater Mariah Bell accused of deliberately kicking and cutting a fellow skater. A representative for Korean skater En-Soo Lim telling local media Bell intentionally injured Kim's leg with her skate, cutting her calf during warm-ups at the World Championships in Japan. The 16-year-old went on to compete, spotted with a Band-Aid on her calf, even scoring a personal best, placing 5th, just ahead of Bell.
This season, I will continue to follow my dream of making the Olympic team.
Bell was featured in this 2017 U.S. figure skating video, and she trains with Lim under the same coach at this California rink. Lim's representatives reportedly claimed Bell had been bullying Lim for months. Speaking exclusively with ABC News, Olympic bronze medalist Adam Rippon, who is a choreographer for Bell, defending the skater.
In no way, shape, or form do I think this is intentional.
And David, tonight the International Skating Union saying it's seen video of the incident, and at this point there is no evidence that Miss Bell intended any harm to Miss Lim. Also, neither skater has publicly commented at this point. David?
All right, Kana Whitworth tonight. Thank you, Kana. We turn overseas tonight, and our team is now on the scene in Mozambique after that deadly cyclone. Tonight, several days now later, the images coming in are truly horrific. There are urgent pleas at this hour for more help. ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell on the scene.
Tonight, thousands in need of urgent rescue, trapped in low-lying areas, overwhelmed by flooding. Rescue helicopters hovering with nowhere to land. Search teams plunging into waist-deep, murky waters to reach families, or plucking them from the roofs of their own homes, or in some cases, snake-infested trees. Relentless rain and widespread destruction hampering rescue efforts in central Mozambique and neighboring Zimbabwe and Malawi, where hundreds have already died due to Cyclone Idai. Aid agencies fearful the death toll could rise sharply. We don't have anything to eat, nothing, just the clothes on our backs, this woman says.
What you're watching is homegrown help here in the capital of Mozambique. The big aid agencies are starting to kick in, but people here aren't waiting.
But with roads and people cut off and food in short supply, the biggest fight right now is against time.
And Ian Pannell reporting in tonight from Mozambique. And Ian, I know the UN has been saying that this could become one of the deadliest weather disasters ever to hit the southern hemisphere. And aid agencies right there on the ground tonight are pleading for more help.
Yeah, that's right, David. It wasn't just the cyclone and the winds that made this quite so deadly, but also those torrential rains and flooding that's still going on right now. Aid agencies are desperate for donations, but this crisis is so widespread, simply reaching all of those affected is proving incredibly tough. David?
Just horrific pictures. Ian Pannell and our team on the scene. Ian, our thanks to you. Back here at home, next tonight to New Zealand. 6 days now after that mass shooting killing 50 people, the Prime Minister making good on a promise. There was immediate reaction here at home after so many mass shootings here in the U.S. Here's ABC's Terry Moran.
As her nation reels from the terror attack, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has emerged as a leader of stirring sympathy and steely resolve, announcing a ban on all military-style semi-automatics, including assault rifles and high-capacity magazines.
The time for the mass and easy availability of these weapons must end.
New Zealand's swift response has many pro-gun control Americans wondering why nothing has happened here. There were 20 mass shootings in America last year alone, including Parkland, the massacre at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, where 17 people were killed, including Joaquin Oliver, his father Manuel, saying today,
New Zealand is doing the right thing. Apparently, we are somehow surprised about what New Zealand did, instead of being surprised about what we don't do.
Gun rights advocates here say there are big differences. The Second Amendment protects Americans' individual right to own firearms, and guns are deeply embedded in American culture.
No comment from the White House tonight about those new New Zealand laws. The Trump administration did ban bump stocks after that Las Vegas shootings. They made some minor improvements to the background checks, but anything more ambitious than that has gone nowhere. David?
Terry Moran tonight. Terry, thank you. And now to a major headline tonight involving the Middle East. President Trump unexpectedly overturning decades of U.S. policy in a tweet today, saying it's time for America to fully recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. Israel captured the area from Syria in 1967.